Good Friday afternoon. My name is Jerry Miller, and this the I Love CVille Show. Thank you kindly for joining us. We are live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network, where we utilize social media for positivity, to bring people together in a time when it's frankly being used for the opposite. We're grateful to connect with you through this platform. It's one of our favorite things to do here in our building, the Macklin Building on Market Street in historic downtown Charlottesville. We now see 8 states and 2 countries watching the show, and we're grateful for your patronage and your support. We encourage you guys to give the show a like and a share anywhere you're watching, on whatever social media platform you're watching. Thank you for connecting with us here. It's amazing what happens when you put approachable, positive, localized, humanized, and personalized content on a device we have in our hand constantly. So we'll introduce you to some of our guests. Paola Christy is going to join us in about 30 minutes. She's amazing. The Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust means a lot to me because this organization is working so tirelessly hard to keep this community affordable for us. And we'll talk about that with a family and a mother who has seen it firsthand today on the show. Chandeysson is going to join us in about 16 minutes to spotlight a company in Ting Charlottesville that was named the Business of the Year, deservingly so, for what they're doing in doing their best to make trusted and reliable internet ubiquitous across our community, especially now in a virtual learning environment. We'll give some attention to Interstate Pest and Service Companies. Judah Wigkauer, who's our director, they're a home's best friend. For more than 50 years, 4-generation-strong company has made Charlottesville better, just like Ting Charlottesville has, and that's Interstate Pest and Service Companies. We did a show earlier today called Real Talk, presented by the Yes Team Realtors, where we honored those who have fallen in New York City on September 11th. Keith Smith, the star of that show, welcomed his father, welcomed the fire chief of Lake Monticello, and he welcomed the son of a window washer who was washing windows at the World Trade Center when a terroristic attack, hit the Trade Center, taking his life and so many others. We start the program by paying our respect to those who have fallen. And I encourage all those that are watching the show today to please remember the legacy, the importance of what happened. This event now is being politicized and leveraged for political ammunition, which is cheap politics. I was a second year at the University of Virginia. I was in Lambeth, right across from the old U-Haul on Emmett Street. And I remember putting the TV on as a second year. So what was I, about 19 years old at UVA, and putting the TV on. It was a Philips rear projector television. I remember it like it was yesterday. And in Lambeth, our particular, I guess it's an apartment. UVA owns these. It had 3 rooms, me and my buddy Shannon in the middle room, Lee and Rob in the far right room, Tom and Connecticut Dave. And the 6 of us, 19, really not understanding life, just trying to figure out how to get to class on time. The 6 of us are in our living room, perched on the edge of a couch, watching this rear projector Philips TV. And I remember at that moment, I felt like I grew up a little bit. First time I had really realized what evil was. Immediately thought of my family, realized my family was safe, asked my roommates, "Are your families safe?" They said yes. I was a Phi Kappa Psi, the fraternity at the end of the Mad Ball on Rugby Avenue, and started calling our buddies, and one of them, and Tom O'Connell, his dad was in the Trade Center during that time. So fraternity, we get together, 19-year-old Jerry, all of us, and we start praying for our fraternity brother's father. I remember Tom had no idea. He couldn't reach his dad because cell singles and cell towers were down. He worked in the Trade Center. We were all fearing the worst. It turned out he was one of the lucky ones. And that particular day, he chose to take a day off from work. Others not so lucky. And I bring this topic up because it's 19 years later, and we're in an election year where this is being politicized, unfortunately, and it irritates and frustrates me. And I think we just need to hug those around us a little tight. Tell those in our lives we love you. We haven't had a chance to see you because of this thing we call COVID. But we miss seeing you. So do that. I'm going to get to some local content here in a matter of moments. Now more than ever, when we're not seeing our friends and family at the frequency we once did. As Barbara Lundgren says on this show, on her show, call your mom. As Keith Smith said this morning, call your dad. Call your friends. FaceTime them with maybe some Ting fiber internet. And just tell the people you care about that they mean something to you. Needed to get that off my chest. Now we'll get to some content today on the I Love CVille Show. The beautiful thing about this broadcast is you, the viewer, are able to interact with the show on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, very soon on Twitter, on ilovecville.com. We have a newsletter that goes out to 140,000 inboxes every morning, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on iTunes, and you can offer perspective or topic material for the show, and we often weave it into the show. In fact, we will start with a piece of content that I've been sent by, I think it's 8 or 9 different people. And Fry Springs Beach Club, guys, in the Jefferson Park Avenue neighborhood, the Fry Springs neighborhood, one of the anchors of this fabulous quarter in our community. There, in Judah, if you can get that on screen, which we were sent, it's on screen now, it's on screen now, it's on screen now. Look at the screen. An ABC license application notice. Hunter Smith, the owner of that champion brewing company, Empire. Hunter opening a restaurant in the old Commonwealth Sky Bar building as we speak. Hunter opening up a restaurant in Gordonsville with Craig Hartman. One of the few businesses and brands that are expanding in this COVID landscape. Looks like he is trying to open, according to the notice, a beach club or a bar, an open bar at the beach club. You know, we'll try to dig a little deeper into this. We'll reach out to him. It is a private club. A number of families had come together in the past to save this club. The pool in the summer is a special place. I spent many a summer there myself. And we know at this time, in a COVID landscape where people can't get together, they're freezing their memberships. They're not being utilized. Perhaps that's one of the reasons an open bar is perhaps heading to the beach club. Friendly Sudley Brew Crew LLC is filing for the application. Friendly Sudley Brew Crew LLC. The initials FSBC, no coincidence, Fry Springs Beach Club share those initials as well. We'll dig a little deeper into that story. Hunter does things the right way. I know membership is curious of what's going on because it's a private club. So we'll see what's going on there. The next headline is one to champion and to celebrate. We have a brand in Ting Charlottesville that is a partner of this show a brand that I have seen firsthand in our guest who's going to join us in 7 minutes. She's reached out to me after seeing topic material on the program and said, we need to figure out a way to get the best internet possible to the folks that are in need in this community so we can help them virtually learn in a time where we're uncertain about education. And in September 11th, 2020, 1 week, not even 1 week, Tuesday was the first day of classes for so many. And we had hiccups on Tuesday. Monday, the University of Virginia had hiccups and an outage across grounds where students at the university were unable to access Zoom and their online material. We saw that Tuesday with city schools. We saw some of those hiccups on Wednesday. We encouraged all our viewers of the show, and we have the furthest reaching, the biggest brand in Central Virginia now here at the I Love CVille Network. And we encouraged everyone to please be patient as we roll out new software and new systems and protocols for our next generation to learn. It's never easy to do something new. So we be patient and we do the best we can with what we got. Well, Ting Charlottesville was honored by the Charlottesville Business Innovation Council as the 2020 CBIC Business of the Year. And it's well-deserved because the business is putting the community before they're putting profits. And that should be championed and celebrated. We have to cling to any glimmer of hope we can find in a 2020 that, frankly speaking, has been a kick in the gut for so many of us. And when a business locally puts people over profits, they deserve the attention. Now, when Cara joins us, we'll chat about the challenges she's facing as a mom with virtual learning. I want to see how she and her family are doing with this. I often say on this show that we need to celebrate moms now more than ever. My fear in this virtual learning environment, and it's not just a fear, it's a reality, is the burden of learning at home through a computer is unfairly falling on the shoulders of women and mothers more than it is on men and fathers like me. My fear is this burden will set back women as they try to climb the vertical professional ladder, because the mama bears of the world will always put their kids first before they put themselves, and I have seen it firsthand with my wonderful, wonderful wife. So, as we celebrate those who have fallen on 9/11, we should celebrate moms and women as well. Because without you guys, we ain't here as people. The next headline comes from Belmont, in a place that's absolutely fantastic. Harrison Keevil, who I went to the University of Virginia with, he was a little bit younger than me. He was really good friends with a friend of mine called Bo Stockton. His name was Bo Stockton. I believe, Harrison, you were in St. Elmo's Hall, if memory serves correct, so right around the corner from Phi Kappa Psi. He's in a building, the Gibson Grocery building, the old Gibson Grocery building. And J-Dubs, you have that on screen for me, sir? Yes, you do. Thank you. That building's for sale. Keevil Keevil took over the old Gibson Grocery space about 5 years ago. And Harrison said, look, we're not going anywhere just yet. Our lease is guaranteed through next year. So if you have an opportunity, go see Jennifer and go see Harrison. Support them with our hard-earned dollars and say thank you for making Belmont a good place. If you followed Keevil and what they're doing, he is going out of his way, his wife is going out of her way, their team is going out of their way to feed frontline workers. And he's doing it without asking for the spotlight. And it's families like this that make Charlottesville a better place for all of us. Nothing better than going out of your home in Belmont. Nothing better than walking from the city market. Nothing better than going from the downtown mall, pushing it with your wife by your side, your little boy in the stroller. You walk down the Belmont Bridge. You cut across right there by Quality Pie, the old Spud Nuts. You walk about a half a block over. You go see Harrison with the smiling face, his beard, and you order a Cuban sandwich, a lobster roll, and you hear the conversation that's happening in Belmont. We told you earlier in the week that Maupin Brothers in Free Union, a country store that has served Free Union since 1929, 4 generations of family, the epicenter of conversation and positivity, the epicenter of tall tales, the epicenter of news in a Free Union community. The country store is closing because of the struggles that come with COVID-19. Well, Keevil Keevil embodies that, the new age country store. Their lease guaranteed through next year. As someone who's a landlord myself, you never know what happens when buildings are sold. So let's go show some support for this family that's given so much support to this community. And speaking of restaurants, I was talking about this with a couple of friends. I have a number of chats, text message chains on my phone. We have one with a handful of brewery owners. We have another one with a lot of entrepreneurs, one with landlords. I got one with 16 different restaurants. And they're asking me to put this message out there. We're now on the other side of Labor Day. And folks, the weather's going to start breaking. And my favorite time of year is the fall season in Charlottesville and Central Virginia, where the leaves turn, the humidity breaks, and we can sit outside with a cold beer or a glass of wine, a burger, a sandwich, whatever it may be, watch a little college football, and do it with friends and family. We need to do that now in September and October and November, because we know in December and January and February, the outside patios are closing. And if the outside patios are closing, what are our restaurant partners going to do to feed us and keep their lights on? We sit outside in this COVID landscape. And I'm not going to make this political. If you don't feel comfortable going inside, you'd rather sit outside, I totally get it. I totally get it. We have 2.5 months. The chain is blowing up literally as we speak, saying, bring this up on your show, Jerry. We have a couple of months now to support an industry that from a per capita standpoint is one of the most competitive in America. You and I are lucky to have so many of these restaurants in this town. But from a keeping a business in the black standpoint, competitiveness in a saturated market means profits are slim and small. Then you throw this COVID-19 issue, an unplanned pandemic that no one expected, that no one planned for, that no one has experience dealing with. And we legitimately have maybe 2.5 months left before the outside seating becomes too chilly to enjoy. You're welcome, Peter. Anything you need. Support them and get to the patios, please. Because we need to help them get to the other side of what we're dealing through. The cold weather is going to impact this industry yet again. Cara, I'm going to reach out to you here in a matter of moments. Judah, let's let them know how they can save $288 on Ting Fiber Internet. ilovecville.ting.com, ilovecville.ting.com. Put your comments in the comment section. I'm seeing a number of them already. I'll get to these DMs, these text messages, guys, here in a matter of moments. I'm excited to welcome, for her second rodeo on the show, Cara. In fact, I'm going to ring you right now. And we're going to have a conversation that not only celebrates a business that's made this community better, but a mom that I believe is going through virtual learning now. We have you live. I'm getting the thumbs up from Judah. So much I want to cover with you. Before we do, how about a little bit about you? How's it going? School started. How's the family?
Everyone's doing very well. Thank you for asking. So we have boys at 2 different schools right now. So they're actually in school. One's a 7th grader at Charlottesville Catholic School, and then we have a freshman at Covenant. And I'll say both of the schools are doing an amazing job. The kids are happy. And we couldn't be more happy with, the support that the school's been giving the parents and, communicating with us. And knock on wood, everything's going well so far.
That's great to hear. I really love, I think you watch the show from time to time. You mentioned one time we corresponded via email. You said we have to figure out a way to get this trusted and reliable internet to our community and those that need it. Give us some perspective here, because you guys are the best of the best. And frankly speaking, in a COVID standpoint, we need the best of the best now more than ever.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up, because we actually we're so happy to share this news. We just won the Business of the Year award last night through Charlottesville Business Innovation Council. So it was we were so humbled to be honored for doing something that we love to do, and that's connect people and support the community. Example of a way that we're doing this is with the YMCA right now. We learned about the YMCA helping out families that need to go back to work and children that need to do virtual learning. And the YMCA and Ting partnered, and we provide the internet services for over 100 children right now that are currently, attending their virtual school at the Y. So we continually look for ways to support the community, and that's one of the latest efforts and partnerships that we have.
That is awesome. We'll get to Backpack Buddies
Yeah.
here a matter of moments. What are you hearing from the other moms? Let's just talk Charlottesville here. What are you hearing from your friends?
I think it's interesting, because I think we're all still a little stressed out to some level, right? There's so much unknown, but we're all doing, like you and I talked about last time, we're doing the best we can. Some of my good friends have decided to do virtual learning with their children, and I think they're doing really well at that. It's a lot to juggle. It's a lot to put on a family, but I think they're doing really well. And then those of us that decided to go back into a physical, brick and mortar school location, we're doing well too. So I'm going to remain extremely optimistic throughout this, journey that we all have going back to school. So we're just excited to be back, to be quite frank with you. It's very hard, as many of us have to juggle, working, 2 parents working, 1 parent working, childcare during this time. So we're just going to do the best we can as a family unit. And then from a Ting perspective, we're going to try to support the community as much as we can. We still have a lot of organizations reaching out to us, asking if we have fiber near their location and could we help. We are answering those, emails every day, and we're trying to serve as many people as possible.
So you're going to love this message that's just come in through Instagram. Jerry, my name is Louise. I'm a mother of 3. We're learning home virtually. My husband recently converted us from the other player in town to Ting so my boys can learn at home. Please tell your guests that the connection is strong and we're grateful to have them in our house. I'm having more of this come in. I'm having people, please tell your guests to come to us. I mean, you guys are the popular brand in town and the best, no question. What was the mindset you and your husband had with your boys going back to school? I mean, because I think we were all at this crossroads of I talk about this with my wife, and my kid's much younger than yours. And we're like, let's keep our kids safe. We're going to do everyone. It's so uncertain, right? Give us some insight to you guys.
Well, we were not going down this direction for quite some time. Our youngest, we thought, was always going to go back to Charlottesville Catholic School. As I've mentioned to you before, that is like our family. We feel very close to that school, and we're very trusting of the process and what they have put into place to make all the families feel safe there. Our oldest, we kind of took a pivot and turned in a different direction. But for us, we were also weighing kind of social aspects of his schooling, not just the physical aspects of the schooling. And having a freshman in high school, we just thought it was very important for him to be around peers. And so that's why we chose Covenant. Covenant seems to be an amazing school for him. He's transitioned really well, and we're just very happy with both schools right now.
How about some of the success stories you're hearing? Is it the word of 2020 pivot? I mean, I feel like we're constantly doing this. Someone just needs to come up with a shirt that says like pivot in 2020 and it would sell gangbusters. Right? How about success stories you're hearing?
Yeah, well, for Ting, we expected this, but we're seeing a huge increase in the number of people that are looking for Ting and looking for symmetrical internet. Since the winter months, we've seen a 65% increase in people reaching out to us and looking for Ting. So our team is working all hours. We're working as fast as we can in a safe environment with safe processes and safe policies that we've put into place. But businesses too, we've had a lot of businesses reach out and schools reach out saying, we know we're going to have to, increase our capacity to serve the virtual learning community. So we're just doing the best we can right now. We are a really small team compared to some of our competitors. We have around 25 people that work for the Charlottesville team, and we do everything from design to install to in construction and marketing and sales. We do it all here in Charlottesville. So we're trying to be nimble and quick and answer everyone's requests as fast as we can. But it's great to hear the feedback that we've heard from the community, which is what we've known for so long, and that's people are going to need symmetrical internet. They're going to need to be able to upload and download documents and attend virtual meetings and be on their email and answer documents. And I think this experience that we've all had in March and we continue to have has just amplified that need. I think a lot of people have always kind of thought about it and said, oh, why do I really need that much speed? Or why do I need to be, worrying about symmetrical? And then this happened. And people have said, oh, now I get it. Now I know why symmetrical speeds. So we're just answering to those people right now, making sure that we get people connected.
Oh, man. I saw it firsthand with your team. 4 different folks that I've dealt with, and you guys are so professional and class. Doesn't it make you, and I'm going to start getting into that feelings department here, which sometimes my wife says I struggle with. I just feel so proud to be a Charlottesvillian. I mean, you got a company like Charlottesville Settlement Company that is bringing on a virtual an instructor to the company so their team members can bring their kids to work. I mean, you got companies that are literally opening up break rooms for kids to come and learn with I mean, how does it make you feel? You're part of that community. Give us some those feelings of how you feel to be in Charlottesville.
Yeah, I think, last night when we were at the Sept Gala, which was a virtual gala, it was the first gala, I guess, of the season, and it was virtual. And a lot of us were thinking, how is this going to go? Because there were a couple hundred people that registered for the event, and it was pretty fabulous. I have to say, I was a little nervous going into it. And the Sept team that worked on the event pulled it off. There was a tiny little glitches, but nowhere near to what one would expect from a virtual event. So, we were really, really happy with that. And one thing I talked about last night was, as a local company, what we take so much pride in is being able to listen to the community and listen to homeowners and businesses, and really the fact that we're nimble and we're able to be quick and we understand our customer base. And I think that's Charlottesville. as a business, being able to understand who you're serving. And it's something that we strive to do every day. And we're just really thankful that, we received an award last night for the thing that we'd love to do most, and that's connect people with great internet and then also provide best-in-class customer service.
I'm looking at our coverage map here, and I'm seeing now 8 states watching the show, and folks from Arlington to Fluvanna, across Charlottesville and Central Virginia. Backpack Buddies. Excited to highlight Backpack Buddies. Give us some perspective, please.
Yeah. Well, the Ting team has always been involved with back-to-school events. We're an annual partner, an annual sponsor of the Back-to-School Bash. And then this year, what we did, our national team actually put together the backpack program. So the Backpack Buddies was founded by a Charlottesville youth some years ago and collects, materials and products and backpacks for children in the city and the county, things that they need to go back to school. So what we're running and what we have run for the last few weeks with your show is a promotion for people that order to get a free installation, a free month service, and then we're also giving $25 to the backpack program. So, it's just another way that Ting takes that extra step to really understand our communities and our neighborhoods, where we're going, and answering what people need. We recently, actually last fall, did a promotion and a program with the Redfields neighborhood, where many of those students and families attend the Kale Elementary School. And we did a promotion for anyone that ordered Ting in Redfields. We gave $25 to the backpack program at Kale. So again, we're just constantly trying to stay very aware of what our community needs and support that to the best of our ability. We had a call this morning about, where we're building fiber right now and some of the neighborhoods that we're going into. And it was a point that I made that I don't want us to be that company that just comes in and puts fiber in the ground and installs people. We should be there to support them throughout the process and even after. And we do that. We, as you know, we have Ting at Fontana and Cascadia. We provide Wi-Fi services at their pool locations. We've done drives where we help people raise money for, new pool furniture that they may need for their community association. So again, we're just trying to be more than just a provider. We want to be a supporter of the community too.
Wow, you are an amazing representative of this business. You're crushing this here. So we got some comments coming in from moms.
Okay.
Can I throw some comments from moms to you?
Let's do it.
Laura Link says this: we chose to keep our son at home, and he's missing his friends more than ever. Jerry, can you ask your guest how her son felt to see his friends and be around kids?
Very happy. The first couple of days, my youngest was coming home from school and we were asking him lots of questions. And at one point he responded to us and said, "I just want to get back in the grind," which I thought was so funny because I almost interpreted that as like, are you ready for homework? Like, are you really ready to get back in the grind? But I think that was his way of saying, I just want to go back to normal. Like, I want to go back to my normal. And that is homework. And that is going to soccer and going to piano and doing all the things that he does. So I think they're very happy to be around their friends. We're all social creatures. As adults, we can figure out different ways to be creative. But, with kids, I just think there's nothing like going fishing together or going to play basketball or just being in a classroom together. So they're happy.
This is from Kelly Tate.
Okay.
Jerry, I'm a mom of 2. I love your show and try to watch as much as possible. In fact, you're replacing the news for me. Please ask your guest about Charlottesville Catholic School and what she loves about this school, because we were considering sending our kids there as well.
Oh, wow. Where can I start? We can do a whole show on this place. We moved here from Arlington not expecting to go to a private school whatsoever. We came from a great school district, but we decided to look at Charlottesville Catholic School years ago, and we fell in love the minute we walked in the door. We felt the love the minute we walked in the door. And truthfully, who doesn't want that for your young child? We did the tour of the school, and I will never forget walking to the library where the librarian at the time had little tiny, like preschoolers, kindergartners walking in. And she looked at the children in their eyes. She got down to their level and made them shake hands and say good morning with eye contact. And that was one of the things that had me sold right there. I thought, God's amazing. And the other thing I love to say about Charlottesville Catholic School is that the family of teachers and administration there, we are truly a family. And at each grade level is expected to learn some level of public speaking. So obviously, depending on the grade, we'll kind of develop that type of public speaking into longer speeches or different ways that they interact with the community. But I just love the fact that it's not just a faith-based community, but they're developing the child as a whole and giving them skill sets that they're going to use not just in a school environment, but when they are in high school and college and they're doing internships and they're interacting with adults and learning how to speak in public environments. And we couldn't be more happy. I cried like a baby when my son graduated from CCS last year. So I expect to do the same in 2 years when my youngest graduates.
You are killing this interview. More moms are reaching out to us. You popular lady here. Judah, can you check your inbox for a link that I just sent you guys? We have breaking news from Charlottesville City Hall that we will get to after this interview. Literally breaking news just sent to me from City Hall. Before we do, this is from Crozet. Jennifer Christofson says, did you have anxiety or were you anxious at all setting your boys back?
Yes, and I still have it. And I think that's just being a mom or a dad or a caregiver, right? You're always going to be anxious no matter what. I was anxious even, before the pandemic happened. I just think it's good parenting. We remind our kids to wash their hands. They're wearing clean masks every day. They're trying to, stay far away from people, not using the water fountains. But they have a good structure in place at both schools, and we're confident in the way that they're not only educating our children, but protecting our children there.
How about this? We are a platform of hope and positivity, and those qualities you undoubtedly embody as well. How about a message of hope for everybody? I mean, it's so this is what's so tough about it. It's like every day I wake up, my wife wakes up, our friends wake up, we're just uncertain. We're not sure when, the vaccine's coming, when we're the end of this. We see what's happened in the national news, and we'll leave that to the side. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. It's just creating this uncertainty, right? And that uncertainty makes it difficult to plan. All of us, I think, have a quality of wanting to be in control, or at least trying to get to the end of the day, right? How about a message of hope for everybody?
Yeah. Jerry, I guess I'll stay on the mom angle since we've gone down this road a little bit today. And I think for me, last year or a year ago at this time, our family would be stressed out on Fridays trying to figure out who's taking one to this soccer game or traveling to Richmond or Northern Virginia. And it was chaotic, right? I just felt like our schedules were very chaotic. And the one, hope, and the one positive, piece of information that we have and we share in our family is the fact that we are together more, and we're not, running all over the state to various games on the weekends. And just the fact that we're together is very important to us. And, the other thing is just being able to connect with our family in various parts of the country. We've got, grandparents that live outside of Chicago and grandparents in Virginia, but just I'm going to tie it back to Ting, but just being able to have that strong connection so that, people don't feel isolated is very, very important. So we're just, relishing in the fact that we have more time together. So, and that makes us happy. And I hope people can take that and feel positive about that as well.
You are a natural at this. I mean, you're an easy peasy interview. Seriously mean that. I mean, congratulations for winning Business of the Year.
Thank you.
Congratulations for being an awesome mom. And thank you. Seriously mean this. And you got the YMCA saying, literally on the show right now, sending me messages saying thank you. What's it feel like to make impacts like this? Why don't we close on that?
Probably, I don't even know a word to explain it. We're so proud to be able to do that. And it's not just, me, like I keep saying, we have such a small team here in Charlottesville, and every single one of us makes these things happen. We all touch these decisions and the various ways that we support our community, and the fact that we have a great team. We're hardworking, we're committed to the community, we're committed to our customers, and it's a great feeling. I love coming to work every day. I love Ting, and I love being able to make positive change.
You're amazing. Thank you. We're truly grateful for you. We're truly grateful for the partnership, for everything your business and the company is doing to the community. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having us. We greatly appreciate your partnership, too.
All right, you have a good day.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Jerry.
Bye. Guys, I am getting, wow, we have breaking news here. The city manager just resigned from Charlottesville City Hall. I am getting text messages. Wow, I'm literally texting with somebody in City Hall right now while I'm doing the show. Dr. Richardson, this is what I know. Dr. Richardson has resigned. Okay, this is now confirmed. It literally is posted on Twitter now by Nolan Stout. Charlottesville City Hall reporter of the Daily Progress is now reporting this. Yes, I'm getting this messages. Oh my gosh, this is coming in here. Good night, guys. Charlottesville City Manager Dr. Teron Richardson has resigned. The Charlottesville City Council asked staff to try to find $1 million in cuts in city manager's proposed budget that could be reallocated to the school division. Judah, do you have that on screen, some of the stuff? If you could give me a thumbs up when that's on screen. That's breaking news right there. That is breaking news on the I Love CVille show. City manager Dr. Teron Richardson has resigned. He has certainly had loggerheads with city council. It looks like John Blair is the interim city manager, the city attorney. I'm getting text messages on the fly in a show from City Hall on the there. You have that on screen, Judah?
I've got
his bio?
Yeah, I'll have the other one up.
Okay, that is breaking news. I'm literally being flooded here. Good night. Good night. That is breaking news, Charlottesville, Virginia. The CEO, Gary Grant. I just received Gary Grant's message. Gary Grant, the retired reporter, is sending this to me as well. Rob Schilling is now reporting this on his Facebook page. Daily Progress is reporting this on his page. This is breaking news live on the fly. Literally, we're adapting to on the show. Our contacts in City Hall are sending us the information, and it has now been confirmed by the beat writer of City Hall, of the Daily Progress, Nolan Stout. It is being reported now by Rob Schilling. Gary Grant, the former reporter, writing it. I'm taking a moment to take this in. How long has he been on the job? How long has he been on the job? In May of 2019, so he got on the job May 2019. This is September 2020. So June would be 13 months, July would be 14 months, August 15 months, September 16 months. 16 months into the tenure, the chief executive officer, the CEO, the most powerful person in Charlottesville City, has resigned. This is startling. This is startling. John Blair, the city attorney, is now taking over as the interim city manager. Boys and girls, you now have breaking news on the I Love CVille show. Thank you, city. You know who you are. Thank you for that. Good night. Good night. I'm at a loss for words. You have an attorney that's the city attorney, now the city manager. Evidently, the Daily Progress is reporting this is over a conflict in budget allocations where council is asking the manager to find $1 million off his budget for schools. And he has resigned. I did not expect that on September 11th on a Friday afternoon. This will be all over the news. All over the news. I have to get to a guest. This is impactful news. Did you put the DP screenshot on? J-Dubs?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, is it on now? Can we put it on one more time? This is the lead of your 6 o'clock news. This is the lead of your 10 o'clock news, your 11 o'clock news, and this is undoubtedly front page of the Charlottesville Daily Progress, print and web edition. Breaking news on the fly. I'm rarely at a loss for words. I'm going to go to our next guest, Paula. It's ringing now. And then I will assess this news as I have an opportunity to digest it. All right, we have her live on. If we can get you to turn your screen on. We got your screen on. Okay, fantastic. You're live for a heck of a lot of people here. Thank you for joining us on the show. All right, first an introduction to you. We just had breaking news. I'm lost for words here. First, let's go to you here. Introduction to you, please, Paula.
Yes, hi. My name is Paola Christy, and I'm happy to be on the show. Thank you, Jerry and Susan, for inviting me to speak about the land trust. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to encourage home ownership for the workforce in our community, and I feel that that's an opportunity to grow our community as well from more of a middle class and lower class income.
Amen. And we need that because this community is getting so expensive. And we want diversity in thought. We want diversity in what people look like. We want this to be an approachable community. So introduce us to how you got connected with the land trust, please.
Yes. Well, the opportunity came from a neighbor. So once again, just in terms of how we can help one another. I lived on a street. At that point, it had been for almost 8 years, so had some continuity, and neighbors wanted to invest in both myself and my daughter, Zahara, and encouraged us to apply. There was a federal grant at the time, coupled with the city wanting to invest in us as a family, and the land trust seized that opportunity, put those components together, and brought us into a situation where we could purchase a home in the Forest Hills neighborhood.
Oh, that's a beautiful neighborhood too. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are the third family in the Commonwealth of Virginia to purchase a home in this manner. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what we were told, that we were the third. And at the time, it's groundbreaking. I think here in Virginia. Richmond followed our model, but just to say that Charlotte providing, and by doing so, we've led other cities within our state to do that. But it is a model that's well followed in North Carolina, New England. Other states have seen it again, just to help preserve homes. Our home, could have easily been turned into a rental property. We're just down the street from UVA Hospital, the UVA college campus. Those homes can easily be rented, but then you lose a sense of community. You don't know, your neighbors. There's turnover. The investment in the yard and in the space itself, I think, can sometimes degenerate in those moments. Not always. Our campus and college community is wonderful, but just a balance is something that I'd like to see us strike in our community to make sure that we have homes where children, like my daughter, can be cared for. We're a mixed race family, and just looking at what's happening around the world right now, how important it is for her to feel like neighbors know her name and they want to invest in her future as a young lady and a young African American lady. What that means. So.
What a beautiful take. That was amazing. You have a way with words as well. We go from one rock star mama bear to another rock star mama bear. How about this in regards to and you've touched on this, future of your daughter? Investing in your daughter. I mean, anywhere you want to go on that topic. My kid is 2. Your daughter's much older than my little boy. And I'll tell you what, since I saw our son Trey come out of my wife at Martha Jefferson Hospital, I realized, A, that women were a hell of a lot stronger than men. B, I realized that my love for my wife went to and I'm getting choked up. My love for my wife went to a completely different level. And we will do anything ever for our kids. And it's not unique to us. It's everyone that has kids for the most part. Anywhere you want to go on that topic?
Yeah, I think it's so important. Our yard space, she went from a house where she didn't have a sidewalk. So walking to go visit neighborhood friends was not a safe opportunity for her. So we now have a sidewalk in front of our home that allows her to visit a neighbor up the street. They've started their own sewing club, just opportunities that she wouldn't have if we didn't live in a space where, one, other families could exist. Our neighbor across the street, he runs, Nathan Walton runs Abundant Life in the Prospect neighborhood. So just he and his wife Diamond are genuinely good people that I want my daughter to have as role models. And, to say that they are invested in our neighborhood too. The other neighbor that we have across the street, she runs Camp Holiday Trails. So all of these, individuals who own and can, again, are working class individuals, but are doing so much for our, town. And how can we, feed other children into that space that could, for me being a single parent, it's so important to have other role models for her. So I'm grateful.
Well, you are amazing, and you're a popular lady here. We have moms reaching out. I will get to this, guys, here in a matter of moments and relay it to her. You believe in this model of home ownership. Why do you believe in this model of home ownership?
Well, one opportunity that this presents is for individuals like myself who don't have an income to be able to purchase, home space with land, again, because of the, price value that we're at. Price point value is just too high. I pay for my home mortgage, so the actual, fee that I pay is comparable to, high rent in Charlottesville, but still I'm, making myself available now to both a house and land. And that land space is not owned by me. It's owned by the city. So this home will never be anything other than what the city dictates as far as a home that's affordable. I have a 99-year lease, and so that affords me, to live my lifetime throughout that point, and offer it up to my daughter, pass that she has an inherit that. So the house is mine. I do work cooperatively with the land trust, so any changes on the home are sort of a cooperative venture, hopefully with them, in a discussion. And the land, even though the city owns it, I'm welcome to, grow or put things I see fit. So we now have our first garden, which is wonderful. We picked our first watermelon this week. So just great things that, again, benefiting from. Had she not had land space, she wouldn't know how to do those things like grow her own food or share her food with neighbors. The fact that we've been able to give the Waltons some of our tomatoes or cucumbers, their children who are young are also seeing that garden. So lovely things.
How about this? Your daughter, when mom becomes a homeowner, your daughter looks up to you. You're a homeowner, which in a lot of ways, I know it's cliche, but it's true, is the American dream. What did she say when you guys now homeowners to you, Mom?
Well, it was a sort of a beautiful goal for us. My daughter is a groundbreaker herself, needless to say, but she spurs me on to greater things. I'm sure you know that already, like you said, with your 2-year-old. They inspire you. And she asked for a home, and she said, Mom, I'd like a home by the time I turn 8. And, you don't want to let your kids down. And so I definitely have her to thank for that. And I know that she And the way that you said that looks up to me is also learning. She's learning about how to take care of a home, how to make repairs, how to, look at budgets and finances and know that it's possible, even with, just my income, and being prudent about our finances, that we're able to do things. And she sees the value of that. And so, yeah, I'm excited that I can be that for her. And likewise, that she can encourage me to greater things.
So beautiful. I love this show. I love this network. I love the people in this town. Do you feel, this is a tough question here. Do you feel like you're a leader? Do you feel like you're an influencer or making an impact in this town? Because I'll tell you what you are. I mean, I'm watching people responding to you on the feed here. I'm seeing it. I'm getting the messages here. I mean, I know you're humble, and you may not want to speak about yourself here in front of a lot of people. But the concept of you being a leader here in this community, it is a fact. Anywhere you want to go with that topic.
Well, it's funny, right? You don't always see yourself in those eyes. I'm grateful. I know that the Waltons have had me taking care of their children this year, and I can tear up about that. It means a lot, just to know that you're in a space where you can be trusted, and to have people that are so good-hearted that you can be around, and that your children can share a life with. So I'm grateful that I can lead that in that way, that I know that I'm hopefully giving a gift back as well, and loving their children and the family that they've joined with, the Scotts. He runs Thrive, and so there's some really good people that I don't know, perhaps we would have met. Charlottesville's a small town, but I love being in a community where there's diversity, and I will say that that's also a gift. I don't want to see our town sort of bought out price point wise, but also that we honor the people who have owned homes in this community, are able to pass that on and keep their neighborhoods diverse, and not just lose out because of finances.
Oh, that was beautiful. Well, one of our missions on this show, and we understand the influence we have in this community with this network, and one of our missions on this show is to continue to bring attention to the need to prioritize diversity in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. My tremendous fear, as quality of life and cost of living becomes more and more expensive, and I will cut straight to the chase, my tremendous fear is this community becomes a white, rich community. And as a dad, I don't want that. I want my kid to be challenged. I want my kid to be open-minded, to grow up in this eclectic environment. And I think the Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust is literally the land trust model, one of the few answers that we have to stimulate diversity and to stimulate diversity in thought and look and in everything. Why did you just right there get a little emotional? Because once you started, I was getting emotional as well. What was going through your heart and your head?
My daughter's gone through a lot. She's already experienced racism here in Charlottesville. So we know that it's, not as beautiful as it is, and is sort of removed from a city where there might be, a lot more intensity. It carries its own level of intensity. The affluence runs thick, and in that moment, we want to make sure that people are valued. My mom was a housekeeper, and one thing she always taught me is that everybody, should be seen as an equal, in the sense that, we're all individuals, but, I grew up in a home where that was important. My mom's from Italy. She's an immigrant, and so I'm first generation born here. And I know how important it is to not, make fun of people because of their accent, or to belittle people because of anything, And I've taught that to my daughter, and I want to be that in our community. But I know that it is a challenge. I will say it's not just, common sense that everybody would act or treat one another that way. And it's difficult. It's very difficult. And again, in a leadership position, that's where I would love to see, our community recognize not just being kind and saying, well, I'm not racist, but also recognizing what steps can you take that are proactive or that are concrete in building a bridge in that direction.
That was good.
So get it.
Your mom would be proud of you.
Thanks.
Do you think about that?
I do. She passed in September of 2008, and that was before my daughter's birth, and so that's a loss for us. So, yeah, I do want to always think of her and somehow pay tribute to her. So, yes.
God, you make me cry over here. Oh, man. How do I do this? How about the land trust? Can we give some attention to the land trust and how they've helped and how we can continue to expand the land trust and help the land trust?
Yeah, so again, it's, that model works. I've definitely told people about it, word of mouth. I try to reach out. I work for Parks and Rec, seeing one of my coworkers and just trying to say, like, you can do this, recognize that it's a possibility. We see opportunities in places like Habitat, and some people I think are worried that, I don't qualify income-wise, or, is it a handout that I really am taking from someone else? But the income point is higher for the land trust than it is for a Habitat homeowner. So if your income, range is something that you didn't consider an opportunity, for a teacher, for police officer, for individuals that are in our community that are, again, not necessarily, struggling all the time, but just knowing that how can I just ensure that I have something that's a home. And that is an opportunity I think the Land Trust offers. You can search for your own home, and as you're looking for your home, you propose it to them, and they review it as a board, and they see along, side the city if it's a land purchase opportunity for them. And if they see it as such, then you can go forward with purchasing your home. And so you have a little bit more individuality than you would say perhaps with a Habitat home. So little comparison, both of them are wonderful. I think either opportunity is great, but again, it gives you an option if you're someone who's trying to search for ways and don't think that perhaps you can do it on your own.
Wow, this has been such a good show. You guys are amazing. Gosh, the feeling you felt when you signed on the dotted line and the home was yours and yours and yours. Empowerment, confidence. What were you feeling? If you could give us the perspective.
I'd say definitely a sense of accomplishment. We put in a lot of time, and that's something too. If you consider if watching this and you're a homeowner or have multiple properties, like, could you, I know people donate homes or cars or different things. Like, could you consider that this could be an opportunity for the city and for the family? When I did it was difficult trying to find a home that we could qualify for, as well as could work with the program. So I know it was a journey, and we were the third family. I know currently they're building new homes as well, so that's something to consider with the Land Trust too. They're looking for property where they can build, as well as homes like mine that could actually be rehabilitated. So saving homes in our community that we don't want to just turn into rental properties. So yeah, I felt great. My daughter felt great. We slept on the floor our first night on a blanket and built it from there, right? So wonderful things.
That's amazing. All right, last question. Anywhere you want to go on this topic? Charlottesville's a great place. Charlottesville has a long way to go. I think that's safe to say. I think we have the people in this community to help make Charlottesville, or help take Charlottesville where it needs to go. Anywhere you want to go on this topic, we're our platform of hope and positivity, but at the same time, we're realistic. Anywhere you want to go on this topic.
Well, I think a jumping off point, like I just said, if we're a community, it's about helping hands. Like, I can turn to my neighbor. Like, I've gotten to know my neighbors. I know the neighbors on my street, at least, 13 whose names I can name. and wave to and have entered their homes. And so that's something we want to do for one another. Aside from that, I'm specifically looking for ways to help. I'm a single parent, so I know that I welcome assistance. Not having been a homeowner, we can all recognize that things break down, things need repair, things need to be upgraded. And as a local business owner, if you're in construction or if you're in any position, solar power, we're looking at ways to, conserve our energy. Can something like that be donated? If one family in one house got it one year and every other business in Charlottesville rotated and took a turn, then it would be years before we'd have to ask again for that original first donor to help. And so the model is, what can you give in respects to upgrading our community? And I know it's difficult. Everybody feels a budget crunch, even in this moment. But there are ways, right, if we all help and look for that opportunity. And if you know somebody, pass that word on to them, and not being afraid to ask and saying, could you do this? Because it's hard for myself as an individual to know that in our community. But again, we all stretch out our hands, we can make a really strong link.
You are special. Thank you. So grateful for your time. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You have a good day.
Thank you. I will.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks for taking the time to do this.
It's absolutely our pleasure.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
What a day. Oh, man. What a day. She's awesome. The reason we are highlighting the Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust is because of the astronomical cost of living in our community and the fact that the city of Charlottesville's 10.2 square miles were landlocked. And not only are we landlocked, but we are fortunate to have incredible employers in this town that pay a strong wage. And on top of that, because of COVID-19, you're seeing a flight of families from dense urban environments like Northern Virginia or Philadelphia or Boston or the Big Apple. And these families, because of fear of COVID and because of a need of a backyard and because of a need for more square feet and because they got a touch of Charlottesville and 4 years as students at the University of Virginia, are relocating to our community. And as they relocate to our community, they're selling their homes in these big cities at high dollars, and they're bringing big bags of money to Charlottesville. And these big bags of money oftentimes are beating out locals in purchasing homes. And as a result, the cost of living and the cost of owning a home and the cost of buying a piece of property, the first step to build generational wealth, is becoming less approachable and more difficult for us in this community. And those are just facts. Those are facts. Yes, we're lucky that UVA Hospital is here. Yes, we're lucky Martha Jefferson and CFA and S&P and Willow Tree and State Farm. And yes, we're lucky that Dexcom is coming and Co-Construct is hiring. Yes, we're lucky because it helps the economy. But one of the things that's often overlooked by these positives is what it does to affordability or lack thereof. And if we don't do something about it, before we know it, we're just going to be in a wealthy, homogenous society where everyone looks like each other. And then that's not going to be good for our kids. And that started really hitting more at home with me when my kid was born. So the Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust is an organization, a nonprofit that we will champion because they're doing good things for Charlottesville. And that's what we stand for here at I Love CVille. If you're just tuning into the broadcast, I literally, during my first interview, I got text messages from folks inside City Hall, from Gary Grant, from my buddy Matthew Gillikin. My buddy Matthew Gillikin just sent me it. Love you, Matthew Gillikin. That our city manager, Dr. Richardson, is now no more. He has resigned as the chief executive officer of Charlottesville City, and the interim manager now, City Attorney John Blair. You're going to watch this on any newscast you watch. Crazy times we are in right now. There's no secret, and I'm not speaking out of turn. There's no secret that he was not getting along well with members on council, and members on council asked him to strip his budget. If I had told you on March 1 of 2020 that the ACC men's basketball tournament would be canceled, the NCAA tournament would be canceled, if I had told you we'd be quarantined for a month, the economy would be stopped, if I had told you that the stock market would crash, that unemployment would reach 16% levels, 30,000 people out of work in Central Virginia alone, that the University of Virginia may go virtual along with city and Albemarle County schools, if I had told you that the city manager would resign, not even 2 years into the job, when he relocated his family from Texas to Charlottesville to take this gig in an incredibly difficult economic and social justice climate, you would say to me, what's next? Is a man with a beard and a cane standing on an ark with 2 elephants, 2 monkeys, 2 cats, 2 dogs, 2 parrots, 2 cheetahs, 2 lions, 2 tigers would float down Market Street? I would say maybe so. And that's 2020 for you. City manager Dr. Richardson is no more. We'll certainly cover that on Monday on the I Love CVille Show, and we'll see if we can welcome some folks into the show with ties to that. John Blair, evidently the city manager and interim manager, the city attorney evidently is the interim manager. And I said on this program earlier this week, John Blair is an A-plus dude. Like an A-plus dude. God, what a Friday, man. This is live programming this is literally what happens when you do a live show. You just have to be like an amphibian and morph to what's happening. Quickly, before we get to your comments, and put the comments in the comment section. I got a ton coming. Right, good Lord, I got 13 text messages, Twitter DMs, 11 Twitter DMs, Instagram DMs on I Love CVille. We have the largest Instagram following behind the University of Virginia in the community. 22 Instagram DMs. How about on my personal? 6 on my personal, and I haven't even looked at LinkedIn. Put your comments in the comment section. I will relay them on air. Wow. Let's get to some UVA news quickly. That UVA Virginia Tech game still on the docket for next Saturday. That's 8 days from now in Blacksburg. Very interesting. Las Vegas has not released a spread, a line, a money line, an over-under, no prop bets yet. And if you follow college sports and athletics like I do, I mean, my first jobs out of UVA was as a sports writer for the Daily Progress. I was a syndicated sports talk show host in 3 states on 12 ESPN affiliates. I hosted 2 NBC 29 television shows, the Jerry Miller Show Saturday at 12 p.m., Sundays at 11:30 a.m., Varsity Lights with Jerry Miller. Those shows ran for 5.5 years on NBC 29. Sports is in my blood. Virginia and Virginia Tech have a game set for September 19th in Blacksburg, and Vegas has not released a betting line for this game. That is incredibly odd and unique. Lines are released in advance. This is surprising, especially for an opener like this. So we'll follow that closely. Judah, the UVA men's soccer schedule was released. If you can, that's on screen. Look at the screen. The men's soccer schedule's been released. UVA, the defending ACC champs, will play 6 conference games in addition to 2 exhibition matches before a modified 8-team conference tournament. The NCAA tournament in the spring, but UVA, the men's soccer team, and Coach Gelnovich will have an opportunity to defend their 2019 ACC Championship. So that's good news. That news was just released. I think the Who's can repeat as champions. I mean, how about a little bit of what the heck are you thinking? This story, guys, you got it on screen, J-Dubs? Miami University students, and I put this on screen as a reminder because we know we have a hell of a lot of University of Virginia students that watch this show because we're all over social media like nobody else is. And you guys frankly know that already. So the students are all over social media. I put this headline on screen as a stark reminder to students of what could happen to you in Charlottesville if you do this. And please, I'm not going to wave my finger like Dikembe Mutombo here. I'm just going to be man to man, woman to woman. As a guy who went to UVA, Miami University students had a COVID party where 23 guys openly knew they had COVID and said, let's have a party, and spread it to everybody else at Miami University. The police busted this party and fined everybody there. Don't do it in Charlottesville, fellas and ladies, please. And I remember what it was like to be that. I mean, I'd be real. I'd probably be that person too. I just don't do it in Charlottesville, please. All right, comments, J-Dubs. I got to get to comments. I remind you of the I Love CVille Daily Digest. Every day, Monday through Friday, at 5 p.m., we do a variation of this show in 5 minutes or less. So Monday through Friday at 5 p.m., we do this show in 5 minutes or less. Tune into the I Love CVille Daily Digest, which has exploded in popularity. Christelle, you are a baller. She is watching in Lake Monticello. She says, from one mama bear to another, please thank those 2 mama bears on your show, Jerry. Bob Shada says, we need some Ting fiber internet on Park Street. Keith, right back at you. He says, I love the I Love CVille Network. Bob says, you need to go live over the weekend, Jer. Do a show on Saturdays and Sundays. Man, I think my wife would kill me if I did that, and I think Judah would kill me too. If you've noticed, we've expanded the broadcast from 12:30 to 1:30 to 12:30 to now 2 o'clock because it's exploded in popularity. And frankly speaking, I can't get all the news in 60 minutes. Carol Thorpe, she says this, Jerry, my intuition told me Monday night as I watched that awkward exchange between Mayor Walker and Dr. Richardson as she challenged him about the last Black Lives Movement march that he was done and out the door. You know, this is a topic for another show. It's no secret that Mayor Walker and Dr. Richardson did not get along. And it's no secret that now that Dr. Richardson has resigned, that Mayor Walker won that battle. She's having a hard time getting along with a lot of people she works with. And I'll leave it at that. Iris Luck, thank you, Jerry, for covering what really matters. We will never forget this show. Yona Smith, thank you, Jerry Miller, for sharing these really important topics. Susan Steinmart from the Land Trust. The land is owned by the Thomas Jefferson Land Trust. Thank you, Susan, for putting that out there. A family earning 80% or less of area median income, you can qualify for the land trust and buy your home. Christine Jacobs, this was a phenomenal interview. Grace is watching in Crozet. Jerry, this is my favorite show on television. I watch you every day. Please run for office. You have my vote. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Nick Hall, I gotta say, I love Ting Internet. And the 3+ years I've had it, it's only gone down one time in 3+ years. And all I had to do was reset the router and it was back to normal. Perfect for gaming, so I appreciate the fast speeds. Melissa Denham, I have always been pleased with my Ting Internet. Chris Turner, I have Ting Internet for my boys at home, and it's one of the best things we've done since they're learning virtually. Guys, the Ting praise is continuing. Barbara Lundgren says, does anyone get along with the mayor? Barb, I'm wondering the same. I mean, you just had a guy who has a compensation package of over $200,000 resign after not even 18 months on the job. He relocated his family from Texas, where he was the CEO and city manager of his city in Texas. He took them from Texas to Charlottesville, where he knew nobody. In a very arduous and open interviewing process. He's then earning a compensation package of over $200K. He is literally at the top of his game as the city manager here, and he just resigned. I'm flummoxed. I'm flabbergasted. I'm frustrated. He was a good dude. What a day. And on September 11th to boot. I Love CVille Daily Digest, 5 p.m. today, 5 p.m. today, 5 p.m. today, presented by Ting Fiber Internet. Save $288 and donate to Backpack Buddies through ilovecville.ting.com. And how about some love, J-Dubs for Scotty Wagner. Dr. Wagner changing people's lives one visit at a time. Sports medicine, chiropractic care, and physical therapy. Dr. Wagner has your back. It's now 91 minutes in the program, and I could go another hour. Easily. I'm grateful for your support and for you guys watching the show. We'll close with this message. On a 9/11 that has historical significance, on a day that our children learn about in history class, that we will never forget, because how many of you know exactly where you were on 9/11? I was in Lambeth Fields. I was in Lambeth Commons with 5 roommates watching a rear projector, 42-inch Philips television that probably weighed close to 100 pounds. 6 guys who were 19 years old who cared about pretty girls, natural light, and keg parties became or got a taste of what the real world was like. 2 of us cried. The other 4 didn't say anything. We just watched. We then rallied around a fraternity brother whose father was supposed to be in the trade center, an individual who could not reach his dad because cell phone towers were down, and everyone had fear that his dad died. And so many did. And fortunately, in that circumstance, he was one of the lucky ones because he decided to take the day off from work the morning of. And to this day, he feels guilt because of it, which is natural and human. So I close with this message. And I learned this from Barbara Lundgren and Keith Smith. Call your mom, call your dad, and reach out to the people you care about and tell them you love them. We should do it every day. We forget because we get stuck in this hustle and bustle. I'm the worst of it, man. I'm just so focused on brands and bricks and building businesses and clients. Call your mom, call your dad, and tell them you love them. I'm Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille Show.